guys, have you ever talked so much that your throat just felt tired? Or by the end of the day, it's like, please, I don't want to have another conversation, right? You're not sick. You're not losing your voice. It's just dry. Well, if you watched the video the other day, that's exactly where I found myself, right? Between filming videos, talking all day at work, catching up with friends, fussing at the dog. I could tell my throat had finally just had enough. And so I already had my cup of tea going, right, with my cortisol tea blend. And the marshmallow root was sitting on the counter, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to throw a little marshmallow root in there. And the next morning, my throat felt so much better. Now, I'm not saying the marshmallow root cured anything. Please don't misrepresent that. I can't promise that's exactly why I felt better, but it reminded me why this root has earned such a special place in herbalism. So it actually has very nice, pleasant smell to it. But if you've ever seen marshmallow root before, or if you haven't, this is it, right? White, flaky. You can get it just about anywhere. No, the root has absolutely nothing to do with marshmallows you roast over the campfire, although that's exactly where the candy got its name from, and you can use marshmallow in that process, which I've done in other videos. The original marshmallows were made using the sticky sap from that plant. But again, there's other processes and ways to do that, which we're not going into today because we're not making candy. But I think that's one of the fun little pieces of history, right, that makes you smile about this, right? Who doesn't love a good marshmallow, especially when they're made from plants? One of the reasons herbalists have appreciated marshmallow root for so long is because it is packed with that fun word, mucilage, right? We've mentioned that a lot in a couple other videos. I'm not going to spend too much time on that today, but that's going to put it in the demucilate family, right? So just remember, when this root meets water, it becomes wonderfully slippery, right? And so that's one of the things that gives us, or gives it that soothing, right, reputation, is that slippery effect. One thing that surprised me when I first started learning about marshmallow root was how you prepare it. Now, most of us think it's a tea, right? And so you use hot water and you're done, right? And you can do that. But marshmallow root likes to be different. She's a little high maintenance girl sometimes, but many herbalists actually prefer a cold infusion, right? So if you've got time and you know you're going to need it over a couple of days, the root is soaked in cold water or room temperature water. Make sure it doesn't have chlorine in it, for several hours, often overnight, right? So think of like how you do those other overnight oats, all that type of stuff, right? Why is that? Because one of the best ways to extract the beautiful mucilage, right, is through that cold process. Now, like I said, you can throw it into teas, right? Because I did the other day. Did I get the full effect of the mucilage using the hot water? No. But was it a quick fix for what I needed at the time? Yes, because sometimes our throat needs that warmth, right? Again, remember, the process can be just as beneficial as the herb that we're using. But if your goal is actually to extract as much mucilage as possible from the marshmallow root, you're going to want to use a cold water infusion and time, not the plant, the actual space, to present what you need, right? So little reasons like that, little details like that are the fun parts to me of herbalism. Changing the preparation, again, changes what you get from the plant. Historically, marshmallow root has been used when herbalists want to soothe dry, irritated tissue. Okay, so think about all the places in the body that appreciates moisture, right? We're going to say like your throat, right? Your digestive tract, your stomach, your urinary tract actually appreciates moisture too. And it's one of those herbs that isn't trying to force the body to do something, right? It's not going to come in and kick butt and take names. Instead, it's traditionally appreciated for the gentle, soothing, nurturing nature of the plant. So again, thinking about how we're going to use it, what we're trying to get out of it, right? So that's one of the things I actually like about marshmallow root. It isn't something that I feel like I need to have every day. It's not something I'm going to use every day, right? Sometimes I don't want extra mucilage in my body, right? Instead, it's one of those herbs that I'm grateful to have on the shelf when I need it, right? Kind of like keeping that warm blanket nearby, right? I've always got a blanket on the back of my couch, but I'm not wrapping myself up in it when my house is 85 degrees. You don't walk outside in the summertime wrapped up in that blanket, so you're not going to use your marshmallow root every day. But when the weather changes, you're very thankful you have that blanket sitting on the back of your couch. Same concept, right? When the attributes change, throat gets scratchy, etc., you're going to be happy that you have this around to help you, right? So generally speaking, marshmallow root is considered one of the gentler herbs in Western herbalism. But like every herb though, it's still important to use it thoughtfully. So think about that. One practical consideration is because it is rich in mucilage, many herbalists recommend taking it a couple of hours away from prescribed medications. Again, please talk to your doctor, health professional about how these will interact with anything you are currently taking or any health problems you currently have. But that slippery mucilage may actually slow how quickly some medicines are absorbed in your body, right? Which could be crucial if you're on life-saving medicines. But it's in a simple adjustment, one worth knowing, and definitely make sure you talk to your healthcare providers. The more I study herbs, the more I appreciate these quiet ones, right? They just kind of sit there as decoration until you need them. The ones that don't demand attention, they're not standing out saying, pick me, right? The ones that simply do what they've always done. And to me, marshmallow root is one of those plants, right? It's very simple, it's very gentle, it's dependable. And honestly, after spending the last week talking far more than I normally do, and I'm sure the dog thinks I'm an absolute lunatic talking to the walls and the houses, or in the wall of the house and the wall of the kitchen. He's like, what are you talking about with the stove again, Lainey? I'm pretty thankful that I have this waiting in my apothecary for when I do need it. So just my 2 cents worth on marshmallow root. So until next time, guys, stay rooted, stay curious as always, and keep growing in grace.